Okay, thanks for coming along. For today we've made some announcements to our leadership group. We've extended a little bit with from last year, obviously with Brad and Travis as our vice captain and captain. We've been able to bring in three boys who we know are going to add a lot to our leadership group in Angus Monfries, Tommy Jonas and Matty Lobbe, who as young players at our football club, we know that they're going to lead the right way. They're going to give an example on the ground that we expect from our leaders, and we've got real confidence in them leading and helping their other players achieve the things that they're trying to get.
Tommy Jonas, a rookie assistant player, how impressive is that to come from there into the leadership group?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's incredible that you think you can come from that far away in such a short period of time and now be a part of the leadership group of our football club. Just goes to show how highly he's held amongst his teammates, because the leadership group was effectively voted in this year by the playing group, with some input from coaching, but predominantly by the playing group, and that's a real mark for the person that he is.
What are the new boys' titles, Ken?
They're just part of our leadership group, so we still only have our captain in Travis and our vice captain in Brad, and these boys will help form the rest of the leadership group. So we have 8 in our leadership group in total now, and what we've been able to do is with some of our more senior players or older players in Dom and Kane and Jay and Westy and even Tommy Logan, to that extent, they're going to act as real mentors for these boys. We've got a really young leadership group, and they understand that, and they know that's the future for us, and we've got to progress and make sure these boys develop so as that when their time comes at their age, at those older boys, they're ready to lead the way like they've been doing already.
Ken, who dropped out of your leadership group from last year?
Basically, Jay is the only one, and that's not because he wasn't voted in. It's because of the discussion that I just said, that at his stage of his career, it's about helping develop the next young leaders of our football club. Jay and Dom and Kane and Westy, they're just natural leaders anyhow, so they don't add anything too much with their title. They actually know that they're going to be mentors for these young fellas and help them become good leaders that they've been themselves.
And the idea of expanding your group from 6 to 8, was that just to get more of those young players involved?
Yeah, it's important for us. If we've got people who are ready and they show leadership qualities that we expect at Port Adelaide, that we put them in the group, and these three have certainly done that all through last year.
How excited about the future should you be to have these really young guys in that leadership group to put their hands up already?
I think an important part is that we've got. I think Gus is a really important one for us, that he's come from another club, and in 12 months he's been able to show to the rest of the group that he's got great leadership, and he plays that way. And as I've said all along, the most important day for me for a leader is on game day, and he had a great year last year. And then Lobes, we looked through his season last year, and almost our growth come with Lobes' growth a fair bit as a player, so we're really pleased that he's been able to do that. And you just talked about Tommy coming from the rookie list. They're just great people, and when you get great people, it's good to recognise them and that you know they're in a really healthy position.
Trav, what was it about these guys amongst the players? What is it about these blokes from the playing side of things that put them up in this position?
Yeah, look, I think the best thing about these three guys is they all bring different attributes to the leadership group and to this club. But the one thing they all have is they're just so driven, and they want to improve. And every time they step out on the track, they're leading by example. And I think that's the thing that set them apart. To take that next step forward. And for Tommy and Lobes at a pretty young age to do that is fantastic. And Gus to come in and, as Ken said, from another club and within a year show that to the group is fantastic, and it shows we're heading in a great direction.
Travis, can you just expand on that? So the three bring different attributes.
Yep.
Can you just give us an insight as to what they do?
Yeah, look, I guess for Lobes, he's his voice around the ground, probably being a ruckman, sort of like a quarterback in a way, is really demanding and directing traffic out there, and I think he's brought that along in his game in the last couple of years, and along with the stuff off the field, leading by example has been fantastic. And Gus is one that leads by example as well out on the track. He's always last one to leave the track, and just setting the tone. And I guess that's what we want from our leaders, and showing the young guys the way. And Tommy Jonas is another one who really leads by example. And we saw his some of the guys he played on last year and the year before. He can shut them down, and sets that example for our team, and just lives the trademarks, and that's why we want him in the group.
How much does it help you as captain, Travis, to have the likes of these guys as a leadership group?
Oh, a huge amount. And, that's why I'm in a fortunate position having these guys around me. And it started with Brad, as vice captain last year, and the whole leadership group, working together. That's how we improve as a team. It's not one person leading it all, and we're able to help each other out in different areas, and that's why I'm so lucky to have these guys around me.
Travis, a year on, is it easier or harder
Look, I've loved it. You know, as I said, it makes it so much easier with the guys I've got around me, and that's why it's at this stage it's been, you know, pretty. I've been pretty happy with it because of the people around me, and that's all. That's as simple as it is. Look, I'll face challenges again this year, but you know, we'll take on them as a team, and we'll look forward to it.
Is there less of on your shoulders because you feel that these guys are carrying a fair bit as well?
Oh, look, I don't think there's too much on my shoulders at all. I think we've shared the load pretty well, and you know, Brad takes over at stages, and these guys will during games as well, and that's the best thing about our leadership group is we're able to do different things as a collective.
Is it everything you imagined, the whole role?
Yeah, look, I've loved every single minute of it, so you know, I'm looking forward to the challenge again this year.
Ken, the guy on your far right, how,
Sorry.
Do you wrestle much with the number, like, you know, a leadership group, I would assume, can get 2 big eights, you know, getting up towards it?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Because as I said, if I look at it, and I'm really honest, I'd say there's probably 12 or 13 that fit in there when we've got those older boys. But no, I think there's people who demonstrate stuff that you just know that they're ready to do it. You know, and to be fair to the 3 boys that are here today that have added into the leadership group, we effectively had them in the back end of last year. So they sat on the leadership meetings all the time last year, and just to get them ready, because we could probably see that they were going to have something to offer in that area. I think the important bit about leadership is those people who are prepared to have the conversations when they needed to be had. Lots of us are able to have the simple conversations about, you're playing well and it's going okay. The ones who are prepared to say, no, that's not the way we do it here at Port Adelaide, and we need you to do it this way, they're the people you need to have. And if you've got that strong voice about them, you should have them in your leadership group, and that's what these 3 bring.
Ken, the guy on your far right, how excited are you what he can achieve this year? Obviously had a real big second half of 2013, started the trial game in the weekend.
Yeah, he can achieve quite a bit, there's no doubt about that, but reward for effort, I reckon, is sits really comfortable in Lobes. I reckon that you just know the effort he puts in, and he deserves the reward that he gets. He works really hard at his game, harder than anyone else at our club, I reckon, as far as working on his game. He won't for one moment be thinking this year's going to be a walk-up start for him. I think he'll be playing with desperation that he played through for the first part of his first 4 or 5 years here at this football club, and he knows that he's got to make sure every game he turns up he plays his absolute best football. That's what he's like. That's how driven he is, and I have no fear at all that he'll turn up again and make sure that he plays that way.
Could he become one of the elite ruckmen? He certainly seems to have the attributes to do it.
All we want him to be is become one of our really reliable players in our football club, which he already is. So if he stays a reliable player for Port Adelaide, that's all I care about.
How about with Jared Redden being injured? Is it a big load for Matty to carry this year, and who's going to provide the support?
Yeah, I suppose you could ask him whether it's going to be too big a load, but I think he thrives on work, and and he enjoys that opportunity. Certainly, it puts us in a position where we've got Renouf sitting in the background ready to go if we need him, but it puts Lobes in a position where we need to make sure he stays healthy. That's one thing for certain, but the work rate and the load that we ask him to do, I just see him get better and better. Probably almost the harder I make it, the better he seems to respond, which is a great thing for us.
So, Matty,
yeah, I'm excited about the year. Last year I enjoyed playing ruck by myself. For the second half this year we've worked really hard, and Brett Renouf and myself competing since Christmas probably. Westy's been really good as well, working on his game, so I'm excited about it.
and physically, do you feel as good as you ever felt? You're looking great, Nick.
Yeah, I've completed most of the pre-season sessions, which has been the main thing for me. Haven't missed a skills session, so feeling pretty good.
What's transformed your career in the past 6 months?
I think as Kenny touched on, for me it's about working hard, and if I drop off on that, then I'm going to be no good. So I've got to keep being able to do that.
Matty, you're one of those guys who prefers to do the great majority of ruck work themselves. Obviously, you've lost Redo was your first backup, but like, do you enjoy that big responsibility of taking most of the game?
If the opportunity's there, then definitely I love doing that. Ideally, we're going to have all us ruckmen up and about and competing against each other and making each other better.
Tom, how big a plus is it for you to be part of the leadership group?
It's just a great privilege to be, for them to sort of recognise the qualities, but for me and for the group it's just about developing the game and being a part of this great group going forward and working with some quality individuals like the boys beside me.
Angus, did you see yourself becoming this like a leader at this club when you came over? Was that part of the attraction of coming here?
Yeah, I think it was. Obviously coming to a new footy club, I guess your first goals are just to meet your new teammates and try to work hard and train hard. And then I think I guess a year after being here, the boys to to put me into the leadership group, sort of very honoured to be a part of it.
Angus, someone from the outside, can you describe what Travis is like as a captain?
Yeah, I think.
Last year?
Yeah, I think coming into a footy club, you have a view of how people play outside of a footy club, but then coming to Port Adelaide and watching Trav, the way he goes about his footy and his leadership as well, just professional. I think he's a caring captain. He gets around to all the boys, and the way he goes about things on game day, when you need him to stand up, he always does. So those key attributes just are great to have as Trav as our skipper.
How long have you guys known you're in the leadership group?
I think it was last week we found out.
Had a few training sessions, like when you're out there, maybe we could all ask you, when you're out there, have you felt more responsibility, or does it change the way you go about things even at the Seals stage?
I think for us it probably hasn't made a huge difference. Like Kenny said, we've sort of been engaged in the group for a fair while now, and I've probably got some natural leading abilities. So for us, it's always about making sure the group have high standards and are training well and switched on. So the last week has been pretty much the same as usual.
Just follow on with that. So what do you feel you then have to contribute to Travis and the leadership group?
I think just support. I think to help make everyone feel like they're gelling, they're playing their role, and then what Kenny said, a big part of being in a leadership group is being able to step up and perform on game day when you're needed. So I think those are the areas that I can hopefully bring into the leadership group.
Angus, you played on some pretty good ruckmen at Essendon, Ryder, Bill Chambers and David Hill. How does Big Matty rate?
Yeah, no, he's had a fantastic summer, and last year we saw what he can do, and I think like you said, those ruckmen are all pretty good, but I reckon Lobes is definitely in that class and can hopefully make a bigger name for himself this year.
How much other pressure does being in the leadership group add to your season?
I think personally as a ruckman, it's a ruckman's job to be able to drive the team and support the captain Trav. So to me, it probably doesn't change too much of a role on game day.
You, maybe Tom, would you feel comfortable like at training if you see someone maybe cutting a corner to sort of pull them up on?
Yeah, I think that's probably why we're all here, because we're willing to keep the group at a very high standard. If we see something that's not being done right, we're happy to pull each other up on it and, like Kenny said, have those tough conversations.